And we continue with our Christmas special, The Way to Eternity, Part 3. Santa is in his headquarters when an elf enters with an American and a Canadian officer. General Notice. General Mackenzie. Santa Claus? I want to express my gratitude for your intervention. What they're doing is appalling. No need to thank us, sir. America owes it to you and the North Pole. But the data provided is a bit disconcerting. The data? Well, we received a transmission a few days ago from Alta Vista on the moon about several drop points. Yes, they're going to attack the North Pole in our positions. Well, that's it. He shows them the map. They're nowhere near you or your position. Santa looks at it carefully. Then what the hell is going on here? Sir! You want to see this? He runs out, followed by the generals, and they see Krampus walking to the fence. His hands are up. With your permission, we can interrogate him. No, there'll be no need for that. Let him pass. The soldiers stand down as Krampus walks past him and towards Santa. Krampus? I must have words with you. Whatever you need to say, you can say it in the open. Santa waves his hand. Are you sure, sir? Are you willing to take that risk? You'll be fine. They walk into the headquarters and Krampus closes the door. Well, what is it? Krampus ponders carefully. I believe I have made a terrible mistake. Santa sits down. I know. Those three. The ones Mariel brought to help you. They've been captured by Kolonev. I know. We're trying to find a way to save them. That's not the only thing. Whatever the Russians have planned, they want us out of the way. Santa looks up. I thought they were helping you with this little coup. As did I. But over the past few days, I've begun to suspect that things aren't exactly as I thought. Krampus, you've always been forward, but now you're hesitant. What's going on here? I believe the Russians are using us. I suspect that they will eliminate us. All of us. Once we've served their purpose. And this is new? I've harbored these thoughts, but kept them to myself. Peter will never admit to them, and I suspect he's willfully refusing to see sense. But one of those bushwhackers said something that confirmed it. Someone who is not of our cause suspected the same thing. And that is enough to make me wonder. And do you still want to take over the North Pole? I don't know. It was all Peter's idea, really. This was his operation the entire time. And sure, I agreed with some of his points, but this is too high a price to pay. Santa walks over. Join us, Krampus. We now have the Canadian and American military on side. With this info, we can take the fight to Peter and his friends and turn the tide. I don't know. Krampus. How long will you wrestle with your conscience on this? You know this is wrong. As Krampus makes for the door, Santa stops him. You can do this, though. Krampus turns to him. Find out what they're planning. If you choose to act either for or against, I will not blame you. Yet consider this. Krampus nods and walks away. The generals join him. Well, Oh, what did he say? He's worried. I asked him to find out what they were planning next and relay it to us. Will he, though? Santa looks after him. I hope for the best, but we need to plan for the worst. Well, that's all fine and Jim Dandy, Santa, but this is war. I mean, you said it yourself earlier. And anyway, they've got 3 Americans detained. We ought to do something to get them. They did risk their lives to get the information to us. Meanwhile, in a hidden facility, we see the Bushwackers are hanging from the ceiling as a burly soldier punches Lee. Kolonev smokes a cigarette. I will ask you again. Did you tell anyone about our dropships? Lee spits blood in his face. Kolonev wipes it away and slaps him. My, Mr. Suchak. You are a credit to your people. Ever defiant. A shame about Warsaw. Ruined and burned.
Go eat a bag of dicks!
The soldier punches him in the stomach. Kolonev grabs him by the hair and yanks his head up. You are the leader of this group. What did you transmit to Earth? Who did you send it to?
What transmission?
Do not lie to me. We traced it from our base on Alta Vista.
How do you know it was me? It could have been Larry and Curly over there.
Them? One of them is certifiably insane and the other is too young and stupid to know anything. Ah, JJ. He called you insane. Go fetch the clamps. I believe even Poles cannot tolerate losing a few toes and fingers. Lee struggles against restraints as Kolonev laughs. Hey, Kolonev, why don't you step out and smoke for a bit? You've earned it. He nods to the soldier who punches Luca. Seriously? My old man packed a bigger wallop than you. You hit like a squirrel. Oh, my dear boy. Just remember, had it not been for us, your family would not exist. They would have died, one by one. Luca grins. Highly unlikely. Is everyone doing that today? Not me. A soldier knocks and enters and whispers something to Kolonev. He turns to the prisoners. Gentlemen, if you will excuse me. He grimaces and leaves the room. Lee turns to the others.
Luca, can't you, do something to get us out of here?
How? I can barely move myself.
You're super skinny. You could wiggle right through.
Suchek, I can't! He lowers his head.
So, that transmission...
It was a set of coordinates to NORAD.
Huh?
What, you're... No, you were gonna rat me out to the Russians, aren't you?
Look, I'm sorry, but I've been turned into liver mush for the past 20 minutes, and you two barely have any bruises on you.
I think he chipped a tooth.
Look, man, at this point, we need an out, and if this is our ticket out, then so be it.
Oh, I see how it is. This is what loyalty looks like then, right?
This is survival.
Unbelievable. JJ, can you believe this? I mean, really? Itu, JJ? Yeah. Man, you guys suck. Krampus arrives at the base where he is stopped. I must speak with Kolonev. No one has passed this point. Krampus growls and makes a move. The soldiers draw their weapons. I will not be ordered around like a common dog. Where is Kolonev? The soldier makes a face and motions for the others to lower their weapons. He motions for Krampus to follow, and they walk down numerous corridors where he sees they're empty. A base this size must be crawling with soldiers. He expects a response, but the soldier goes to a door and knocks. It opens, and the soldier leaves Krampus there as he enters and closes it. A minute later, the soldier returns with Kolonev. What is it? What do you want? I need to speak with you. Well, go on. I've heard rumors recently regarding our arrangement and needed to confirm them. What rumors? Is it true that your aim isn't to help us take the North Pole from Santa? And is it true that you're just using us and will dispose of us when we're done? In answer to your questions, no. And no. Both no's. We are firm in our commitment to your cause. You have been deviating from our pre-selected locations, though. The past week we've suffered numerous casualties, and you only delivered the APCs just 3 days ago. We would have taken control by now had you fully committed to the campaign. Kolonev glares at him. And have been more forthcoming about your strategy. You asked for weapons. I supplied them. You did not ask for men until a few days ago, and even then we gave more than enough. What, you want entire Russia to come to you? Krampus growls. Careful. Do not presume to threaten me, beast. I have enough men to subdue you and enough weapons to make you kneel, if I wish. As he says this, a soldier salutes him and hands him a note. Kolonev sighs and turns to Krampus. This is the last conversation we have. If there is anything else to discuss, then have your friend Peter meet with my liaison. We are done. As he leaves, Krampus looks at the door. He walks over and knocks, and it opens. He walks in and sees the bushwhackers tied up. The soldier draws his weapon, but Krampus claws it. He then walks over and rips their chains. They fall to the floor.
What?
Can you stand? Luca and JJ help Lee to his feet. We can make it. Good. Get out, now. They look at him and proceed to leave without question. Luca turns around. The base is undermanned. You should be able to get out undetected. I passed the hangar earlier. Grab a truck and head southwest. The Americans and Canadians will meet you. As they leave, Krampus sees the soldier isn't quite dead. As he's coughing up blood, Krampus grins. You have been naughty, haven't you? As the soldier tries to back away, Krampus bares his fang and lunges for the man. Back at the base, an elf, along with several Canadian-American soldiers, stand at the checkpoint as the truck approaches. Alright guys, heads up! As they raise their weapons, the truck comes to a stop. They walk over and JJ steps out with his hands up. It's the bushwhackers, don't shoot! As they help Lee out of the truck, General Notice runs over. Gentlemen, so, you got my message? Yes, and it confirms our suspicions. The Russian ambassador's been denying over and over again, but that there aren't any plans to retake Alaska, but the coordinates and the evidence presented here tells otherwise. How many more drops are there? 3 more, maybe? We stood away in 1, and God knows where that's got to. The hangar had 7 of those APCs ready for launch. He looks over at Lee. General Notice follows his gaze and waves his arm. Alright, someone get a medic! As Lee is led away, the general looks at him. He didn't say a word? Well, can't tell anything if he doesn't know anything. What happens next? If those things really are out there, then they are planning to take Alaska by force, and then we need some serious firepower and careful coordination. As they head into the headquarters, Santa runs to the bushwhackers. It was Krampus. He freed us. Santa nods. Well, I did get through. Is he with you? No, he stayed behind, but there's another thing. The generals enter. He said the base is undermanned. When we escaped, we barely met anyone. They're probably guarding the drop sites then. Why can't he let Krampus and his men do it? I mean, we had a whole crowd of them earlier. It could be they aren't equipped to handle those APCs. Or he doesn't trust them. He looks up. That just might be the opportunity, then. You think Krampus might be persuaded to join us, Santa? I don't know. Peter still exerts a lot of influence in this alliance, and Krampus appears to be no more than an accessory. So he's useless. I wouldn't say that. He looks on as Lee is loaded onto a stretcher and is led away. A little while later, Lee wakes up to find himself in the infirmary. He sees Luca and JJ.
Ugh. Tell me, the past 24 hours was a nightmare?
He tries to sit up but winces in pain. That answer your question?
No, I guess not. Where are we?
Oh, at HQ. The American and Canadian military got my message.
Uh-huh. And?
And we're suiting up for the next attack. Lee stares at him. We're heading to the next drop site and we're gonna jam the signals.
Yeah?
Well, the idea is the dropships are using tracker to find beacons at those locations so they can land. If we destroy those beacons, then the ships will...
I think I get the idea.
As he gets out of bed, the others look at him. What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm coming with.
You took a beating back there, dude. You should rest.
I did in the truck. And I feel like Fluffy...
As he collapses onto the bed, a medic runs over. Now where do you think you're going?
To help out with whatever it is those two are gonna do.
You've got a fractured rib and some lesions on your head. You could have been concussed. I want to keep you here for at least 24 hours for observation. Doctor's right. We'll be fine, dude. As they leave, Lee looks at the medic. On the tundra, we see Luca, several elves, nutcrackers, and soldiers scurry to a small ridge. Anything? Hang on a sec. These beacons are messing with the scanner. Is it like that? They see a blinking red light. They hurry over to see three spread out in a small triangular pattern. An awfully tight fit. It's not a precise drop, but it should give the drop ship an approximation as to where to land. Even with the pre-programmed coordinates, it still needs to find the beacons to link up. How? He smacks the scanner. Hang on a sec. He walks over and prods the terminal and inspects carefully. It's kind of like how when it lands the beacon will emit a signal. And then the thing opens and out pops the APC. Guys, this thing is both a key and a beacon. He looks at the others. Soviet-era technology, I imagine. Righto! He proceeds to smash the first beacon, and the others follow suit. They hear a roar and look up to see an object heading towards them. They flee to the truck and drive off. They see the dropship land, but without the signal, it remains in place. You got the trap set? The soldier pulls out a detonator. You bet. He presses the button and there's an explosion. The ship keels over. An APC crawls out, but then collapses as debris from the ship impales it. Radio the others. Let them know how it worked. On to the next one. Back at the Russian base, Kolonev is fuming as the soldier runs over. What is it? Sir, it's destroyed. Kolonev turns around. What? It appears to have been destroyed upon impact. Idiot! Those ships were designed to take up thousands of newtons of force. It was not destroyed upon impact. He looks at the scanner and sees another beacon go out. Bring him in. Krampus is brought in chains. Krampus, my friend. I have a problem I'm hoping you can solve for me. Krampus spits in response. We have 3 drops. The first one was destroyed half an hour ago, and the second one just went offline. Now, would you happen to know anything about that? He remains silent. Kolonev walks over and puts a gun under his chin. It wouldn't be your new friends. How can 3 men destroy those things? They can if they destroy the beacon and jam the signal so they cannot release the APCs. You do want to take over North Pole, yes? When Krampus doesn't respond, he nods and the soldier butts him with his rifle. As he lays on the floor, Kolonev walks over. I have a perfect memory. I can tell you what I had for lunch on June 4th, 1987. Where I met my wife. The name of the priest who performed my son's chrismation. And the terms and conditions of a certain agreement. He kneels down. As I recall, the terms were generous. We will provide weapons and manpower for your little scrape, however insignificant it was. And all we ask is that you perform the given tests. When asked! He kicks Krampus as he says this. Merely simple tasks. Merely to follow orders. You are a beast of burden with the gift of speech, but still a beast of burden. Animals such as yourself were made to obey. He kicks him in the face. Why can't you just obey? Krampus grabs his foot and tosses him. The soldiers aim their guns at him as Kolonev stands up. A beast of burden. Black Peter enters the room. Peter. Good. Krampus tries to get up, but a soldier pins him down. There have been recent developments that have hampered our efforts. Your associate here decided not to honor our agreement, and as such we are unable to deliver additional materials for your war effort. He has become a liability. He hands him a gun. Now tell me, will you uphold the terms of our agreement? Or will you be joining your bestial friend? Krampus looks at Peter. He then looks at Kolonev. You know, this was wrong, didn't you? Black Peter's lips curl. Oh boy. I don't know what you're talking about. He pulls the trigger and shoots him in the head. As Krampus lies there bleeding, Kolonev congratulates him. Well, you are a soldier of the cause. As the soldiers carry Krampus' corpse away, Kolonev brings up a projection. We have 4 drops. One of them made it and is being assembled, the one with our stowaways, and 2 have gone offline. And the 4th? Due in 6 hours. I need you and your men to protect the drop site. Why not your men? Russian soldiers on Canadian soil. Point taken. I will have my men ready within 2 hours. You have 1. This is imperative and you must not let the last drop be destroyed in any manner. The Americans and Canadians have already destroyed 2 of them and no doubt they will be preparing to sabotage the last drop. You must stop them at all cost. Understood? Black Peter nods. When we are done, you will earn your reward. You will have the North Pole all to yourself. Black Peter looks at the pool of blood on the floor. Good. I never was one for sharing anyway. Good. Oh, and those 3 interlopers who escaped the facility. You will leave them to me. But if they resist, use your discretion. Understood. As Peter leaves, Kolonev looks at a map of Alaska with the Russian flag on it. Soon we will take back what was stolen from us so many years ago. And the West will learn just how wrathful we can be. They will not dare to strike us if we have a foothold in their own backyard.